to Vermont Sun and Shade. So I have a natural hornet repellent plant right in front of me. Actually, two of them. This one and this one back here. This one, many already recognize as rosemary. And not only is it a hornet repellent, but it is also the type of plant that your pet finches can eat and love. And the other one back here is peppermint. This is a peppermint mint plant, type of mint, and spearmint. So I have an article. I went through a number of them this morning researching all of the plants, which I already knew of some, but I wanted to review it again and go through this with you. We had gone through some of these earlier in the spring, just kind of mentioning some that repel hornets, and these repel bees and wasps. Bees, even though I'm allergic to them, I don't mind them because they typically don't bother me. However, it's wise if you are sensitive to them, to their possible sting or bite, that you try to build some kind of a protection, natural protection for yourself. And rather than going out and spraying and going through all of that, accidentally killing plants around you, maybe affecting yourself by having to spray. And so this article, this is by thespruce.com. Okay, and I'm gonna move this so you can see the birds a little bit if you want to see Umi and Mashuki playing back there. And as they're doing that, I will go ahead. I'll put this over here. I think you can still see them. Let's see. Hi, Rosa. Hi. So we are talking about natural. We're going to go just start a list of plants that are natural repellents that hornets hate. And this title says hornets and bees, or wasps and bees, but my thing is hornets because as some of you may know, I had a hornet's nest out here, and two gentlemen who were working on something else were kind enough to get rid of it for me. There's been a few stragglers, guys. They've made their way in here, and one of them was the queen mother, who 5 days after she had crawled out of that nest, she crawled in my apartment. And then today, unfortunately, it looked to me to be, it looked like a different type of hornet. Maybe it was one of the extras that was still, because it was sluggish also. And unfortunately, I had to kill it. I mean, hornets are can be very, very aggressive, guys. And so I did have to swat it. And with that, the best way I think to manage these guys is to just keep them away. So a rosemary plant like this is a gorgeous, gorgeous plant. I was just saying at the beginning of the video, not only can your little pet finches eat this, and they love it. And it's not expensive at all. It was like $2.89 or something. And the peppermint plant also, but they can so your birds can eat. They repel. This is a beautiful plant, the rosemary. Isn't it beautiful? This is so beautiful, and it smells, the herbs, the aroma is so calming. So hornets hate rosemary and they hate peppermint. So they get that aroma. They do leave the area. So we're going to go over 30 plants. Now, I've been researching this morning, and I researched a number of videos that said 15 plants, 13 plants. This list, I believe, is counting plants that you can plant outside as well as have inside. So I have a bunch of mint plants outside and more rosemary outside and out right outside my door. And the other one, and we're gonna probably name it here, is sage. So I want to get sage, and also I want to put that right on my door because I don't know if they're getting in through the pain of it or how, but and it's only one. I think these are just stragglers that were deep in the nest because hornets are so strategic. They they will uh they're- uh, they will burrow way down because they're ready for attacks. They're incredibly, actually, it's really creepy how many tools these hornets, they're about, hornets can be like an inch, inch and a half, but they recognize your face, they recognize human faces, okay, and memorize them for up to 30 days. That's scary to me. When you go to swat at them, they will throw off a pheromone onto you, and they will memorize, they will communicate with each other through that. Yeah, I mean, this is a beautiful plant. So these are the plants. So we're going to go through here. The first one, and I'm going to show you a picture of it, just in case some of you are not familiar. I'm just going to move these over. This one I had, and something happened to the plant. It wasn't a healthy plant. So let me just turn it. The first one is basil. Now the nice thing, cook, know that you can cook and you can eat basil. Many of these you can eat, right? This is basil. And the aroma from basil is just beautiful, guys. Hornets and wasps don't like them. So the name of this list article is this. Let me just read it and tell you who it's by. 30 plants that actually keep bees and wasps away. The list is written by Molly Burford, and this is with the spruce.com, and it was updated on February 15th, 2026. So just this year. And she starts the list off like this. She says, caring for your, finding ways to repel. Hi, Anna and Rosa. Thank you for being here. To repel wasps and bees without harming the environment. So that's my big thing, is like the hornet that came in this morning, I had to spray it a tiny bit, and I said, I can't spray this a lot because I got birds here. And so I just did one tiny spray, and it was just enough because it was already sluggish. So it kind of fell with that. And then I took this, I'm just going to show you. I didn't swat it. I just laid it on it. This is specifically for insects. And if you're allergic to these like I am, you do have to have a number of things to protect you. So I just kind of touched it and then it was gone. And so and then you can wear repellents. Yeah, it works well. And you can wear the repellents and it helps. But when you start getting plants like this and like what we're going to read in the list, what happens is it fills the air and the area. So if you put a bunch of these different plants that we're going to talk about, like on your porch or in your home or near your door, these guys are going to stay away. But you got to build them up and you got to get them out there. So she says natural remedies like certain plants can help keep these insects at bay. Below is a list of 30 of them that deter these bees and wasps. So we just went over the basil. Basil was the first. I'll show you that This is one I haven't heard, and I went through about 3 lists, and I did not see this on the list. This is bay leaf. Now that is also another herb that you can cook with, and when you can cook with these, guess what? And you get the plant, you're saving money. It's called bay, B-A-Y, leaf. It's called bay leaf. I think people put bay leaf typically in like soups and stuff like that. Let's see if she says anything about it. She says the bay leaf is another strongly scented herb that naturally repels bees and wasps. Bay, B, that's B as in boy, B-A-Y, leaf, adds a wonderful flavor to many recipes. I think a lot of the recipes, like I said, are soups. And plant the bay leaf in a spot where you will receive light. Yeah, obviously, right. So another one, and I didn't hear of this, there's a lot on this list that I did not see in the other lists that I studied this morning. This one is begonias. This is what a begonia looks like. So that's a flowering plant. Begonias. And so the begonia will, this will ward off also bees and wasps, and put it somewhere where it can receive bright light, okay? And indirect, and water it consistently, but avoid waterlogging, yeah. This one I hadn't heard of either. This is cardinal flowers. So these also repel bees and wasps. So those are just beautiful. Those are really nice. So I'm just gonna flip the camera, guys, because I think it'll be easier. I do have my artwork over here, as you know, but it might be easier for you to just kind of see this right along with me. And now a lot of times the lighting will kind of shift on me here. So let me see if I can, I want to put something here to kind of hold this. It's maybe not going to let me. Let's see, we'll try this. Oh, that's a little better. Just, there we go. What you saying? Oh, there's a gas truck out there. So guys, the birds will notice things that you and I may not notice. Let me just move this. Okay. So now you can at least see the flower. I see that the wording isn't clear, but maybe that will come forward. I'll read it to you anyway. So this plant, again, this is called cardinal flowers, and the cardinal flowers repel the birds, the bees, and the wasps. And it's a radiant cardinal flower, and it's no interest to bees or wasps. This is because the bright red hue, the bugs aren't able to see that color and aren't attracted to the plant for that reason. The next one, and I've heard of this a number of times, is catnip. Catnip, it has an unpleasant, strong scent that deters many pests. Keep in mind, though, that the catnip does not require pollination, and this may bring bees to visit during an annual bloom. For this reason, consider the catnip in combination with a stronger deterrents, like maybe mint or something. But I also understand that catnip grows very, very fast. But wasps don't like, or hornets don't like catnip. Chives, this is something else I have outside my door. I hope you can see this. To me, this is not coming. There we go. That's a little clearer. Let me just put the shade down a tiny bit, guys. Yeah. I don't know if that helped. Yeah, I think that helped a little. Okay. Move this. Okay, guys, there we go. Oh yeah, that's a tiny bit better. Okay, so chives. Chives are also, guess what? They're another that you can use to cook if you're a cook. And it also deters the hornets. And and here's another one without having to go to the store and buy the spray can of citronella, which can just be overwhelming. Just have a plant of citronella outside. It does a natural time release. And let's see if she talks about that here. It has a lemony fragrance, which is thought to have a deterrent effect on bees and hornets. So be careful. The plant is known to cause skin irritation, and it can be toxic, and it is toxic to pets. So if you have a cat and a dog like that, be very careful. I have my little birds, so this is something I might put outside, but then I would be careful with that too. Cloves. So these are cloves, guys. Okay. And neither bees nor wasps enjoy the scent of cloves. So these are scents that just make them run. They don't like these smells. It makes an excellent addition to your garden if you're trying to keep these types of bugs out. The next one up, number 9, this one takes me by surprise, but I've read this now on 3 other lists. Cucumbers. Cucumbers deter, so while cucumbers don't have a strong smell, their acidic peels fend off bees and wasps. So I find that so interesting, as well as cucumber leaves are also a great natural repellent. So, cucumbers are really easy to grow. So I think I am going to add that to my little porch and window garden that I have here. So let's see here. Eucalyptus, has a very strong scent. For any of you who are not familiar with eucalyptus, it's very, very, very strong. And it also is something that, according to the other lists I have read this morning, the hornets do not like the smell of eucalyptus. Both eucalyptus oil and its scent act as a natural bee and wasp deterrent. Eucalyptus is best planted in the spring and can grow several feet annually. So beyond just bees and wasps, it also keeps ants and mosquitoes at bay. So, and it says here, if you have young kids or pets, be warned that the bark, sap, and leaves of the eucalyptus are toxic to both humans and pets. So, you know what that tells me? That this plant I definitely want at my door because I don't want these guys coming in. If it's highly toxic, those wasps, those hornets, bees are going to stay away. They're not going to go near it. So, but be careful of that warning there. So the ferns, this is one I haven't read either. They're non-flowering and are a preventive measure to keeping bees and wasps away. This is because these plants produce no pollen, meaning pollinators have little interest in them. Garlic, this is another really good one to have. And you know what's nice about garlic, guys? You can just buy, like even in the store, even if you bought just some garlic bulbs, you can plant, they grow fast. They've grown in my refrigerator when I haven't even tried to grow them. They've grown little stems. So, and quickly, it seems like they do it quickly, not because I had it in there a long time. While some foodies love it, many people and animals do not like it. This includes bees and wasps. Plant the garlic in the fall for the best results. But I would say, guys, if you have hornets buzzing around like I do, get the garlic, get it out there. Don't worry about what time of year it is. Just get it out on, it's summer, get it out on your porch. and add to the deterrents. The other one I was surprised is geraniums. So I'd like to get some geraniums out there. So I chose about 6 more different herbs to get out there to keep these hornets away. But geraniums have very little pollen, so they do not attract many pollinators, and they make them one of the best flowers to get rid of bees and wasps. Um, yeah, I also read somewhere else that they don't like the scent of them. Something about that also. Lavender is another one. So, and with lavender, I do know you need to be careful with your dogs and your cats, especially dogs I know about. Because when I had a dog, people said, yeah, just be careful with lavender. Lavender flowers, the scent can draw bees looking to pollinate. However, the smell does not attract wasps. Both bees and wasps also detest lavender essential oil, so they don't like the smell. It says that this might be controversial, but I don't know. I've seen it on 3 other lists that lavender is really good to keep hornets away. That's what I read on other lists. Just be strategic where you plant it, far away from your patio to be safe, for a safe bet. I'm not sure what she's talking about there. Okay, if you have any questions on the lavender, just do a little more research. You know what I mean? Type in lavender, or because some of these are like basil, rosemary, and thyme. And peppermint, they are known to keep hornets away. Okay, lemongrass is another one that keeps hornets away. And it is an ornamental grass, well known for insect repelling properties. And mosquitoes don't like it either. And the lemongrass oil also turns bees and wasps away. So to get the oil activated, all you do really is with any plant is just kind of touch the leaf, like kind of pet the leaf, and it activates it. It kind of exudes an oil into the air. That's what I've been learning as I've been reading and studying these things this morning. Marigolds is another one, and they're very pretty. Marigolds are an effective natural pest deterrent. Their chemical compounds make their scent very unpleasant for insects. And there's several types of marigold. So it says, so you're bound to find a version of the flower you love. Now, I know there's a marigold, I believe, like it has a lemony scent, so it's similar to citronella, so that's a really good one to get too. So mint, this is number 17. We're more than halfway through the list. If you're scrolling, we're going through a list, guys, of plants that bees and wasps do not like. So mint is number 1 on all the other lists that I've read today too. And on this one, it comes in number 17, but I don't think she is putting them in any order. But mint has an intense smell, and it is an effective plant to keep bees and wasps away. The plant loves to spread, so growing it in a container or pot is wise unless you're okay with it spreading around, because it will grow fast. I had mint in my other place I lived years and years ago. Onion. So this is one I didn't know about, and I haven't seen this one on any other list, but I believe it. Well, onions are excellent for dishes, eating. Bees are not attracted to the onion nectar. Onions are also effective pest deterrents against aphids, rabbits, and more. So it doesn't say anything about hornets, and that's my big deal, is hornets. So pennyroyal, I've heard of this a number of times now. Pennyroyal, bees and wasps tend to steer clear of pennyroyal because of the plant's mint-like scent. Pennyroyal also turns away ants, mosquitoes, and even wandering cats. So, interesting that they do not like this plant. Okay. So, next one up is peppermint. And that's what I have is a peppermint plant right against the cage of the finches because they like peppermint and mint. Peppermint is a hybrid between spearmint and watermint. And yes, it deters bees and wasps because of its strong smell. You can grow peppermint simply to use peppermint essential oil. I would like to know how to make the oils. I guess maybe boiling. I'll have to look it up and I'll share with you guys how to do that. So number 21 is red lilies. So red lilies, because bees cannot see the color red. Planting any variety of red lilies will keep bees flying away from your garden. However, if you have cats, be careful because some type of these lilies contain a toxin and that is toxic to your feline companion. So just be careful. Any plant that you get that's new, always check it and make sure your cat is, because cats like to nibble on plants. You see them do it all the time. Oh, I didn't realize this one. Red roses? Well, this is rather surprising. I would think bees like red roses. Dark red and closed flower roses won't attract many bees. These roses aren't appealing because bees can't see the shade of red, nor have easy access to them. But it doesn't say anything about wasps. So I would not get this unless I'm absolutely sure a wasp isn't going to be attracted. So, and here we go, rosemary. That's exactly what I have in front of me right now. That's the rosemary plant. And rosemary has a woody fragrance that turns off wasps and yellow jackets. That said, rosemary may still bring pollinating bees to your patio. To combat this, other naturally deterring plants are optimal effective. So to put alongside the rosemary, maybe put peppermint or thyme or something like that. Now, another one that I hadn't heard of either is rue. So rue is intense and has an, I don't know if that's supposed to be acid, but it says acrid smelling oil, coupled with tiny flowers and makes it an option for turning away bees. They do not attract butterflies, however, and do note that the leaves and flowers are toxic to humans and pets. So that's important to know, guys, when you're handling this, or you're going to get this and put rue outside your door, you want to make sure you strategically place this. Or just knowing that it's toxic to humans and pets. Okay, next one up, number 25. We're almost done with the list. Is sage. This is one I want to get again. I did have some sage here. And the sage plant that I had gotten didn't last long, but this is very strong scent to it. And sage deters wasps because of its fragrance. Now, the way she puts that in the first sentence, out of all 30 of these, this is the one I would get, along with my rosemary and thyme and peppermint that I already have. But it is also one of the easiest herbs to grow. Well, mine didn't last, so I don't know why. And it can be planted in the spring or the fall. And it makes a great option for beginner gardeners. The next one is spearmint. So spearmint also, it's a mild deterrent on wasps. Wasps dislike the strong smell, but bear in mind that bees could still be drawn to the blooming flowers. The next herb that wasps and bees don't like is thyme. And this is an excellent natural wasp deterrent. So far, she has talked about thyme, peppermint, and rosemary and sage being very strong deterrents for wasps. Okay? So those are the ones I've been focusing on because those are all on the other lists I have also studied. The trumpet flower I've seen on a few lists too. So the trumpet flower, bees are not drawn to the trumpet flower because of the tubular shape. However, if you love hummingbirds, okay, so it doesn't say anything about wasp, so this is not one I would get anyway for me. Wintergreen, I haven't seen that on any of the other lists, but it's a low maintenance ground cover plant, and it is considered to have a neutral effect on wasps and bees. So it doesn't attract or repel them. So I don't know why this is on the list. If it, you know what I mean? I guess she just added it to add it. Wormwood, this I understand has a very strong deterrence towards wasps. Let's see if she says so. Wormwood is a well-known natural insect deterrent. Wasps hate it. And Artemisia can be mildly toxic for people. So you got to be careful, and especially pets. So keep this in mind if you have dogs and cats or they're in your neighborhood. So for me, this might be one that I put right on the inside of my door. And so that it's not out in the neighborhood. I don't know. But wormwood is definitely on all the lists, and all of them say the same thing, that it's a very strong deterrent. Okay. And I guess that's the end of it there. That's number 30. So I hope, guys, that you got some good information there. I picked the one with the longest list, and I guess she added some plants on there that are not necessarily considered repellents, but are considered neutral. So the ones I've learned about and I've seen on all the lists today that are very strong repellents for the wasp, for the hornet, which is my big thing. Bees typically don't bother me. And yellow jacket, yes, but yellow jackets are very aggressive to everybody, everywhere, at any time. So yeah, you don't want them around. But these deter bees and hornets. So we went through 30 of them, but all of the lists that I went through will tell you rosemary, thyme, peppermint. They didn't have on here mugwort, but that's another one that is a strong deterrent. They have wormwood, that's a strong deterrent. And thyme, if I didn't say that already. And yeah, so and basil. Basil is a strong deterrent. But these are all herbs. Actually, these herbs, the scent of these herbs have actually brought, for me, my blood pressure down. They're very calming. They just, for the human being, they just calm you and ground you. So I think for that, and the birds, the pet finches love this. The pet finches got this rosemary for them, and I'm trying to, here, I'll show you right now what I'm doing. So I am trying to root a few of them in the water. Now, I was trying to do this with thyme and a couple other things I had gotten, but I didn't do it from a plant. I did it from the herbs I had bought in the store, and like before I put them in the refrigerator, I was trying to reroute, and I did have a little success, but in moving, I lost, and the winter was so severe, guys, here. But I am trying to root these, and I guess it takes about a whole week. I had understood a couple days for peppermint, but we'll see. It's been a couple of days, and it's not really rooted yet. So I'll let you know how those come along. The next video we're going to do is I want to learn what flowers can the finches eat. And I believe the pansies, I have pansies here, but I'm probably not going to feed them those pansies. Because I feel, even though I didn't spray directly, like I just sprayed a tiny bit onto the hornet that was in the window. The pansies were like nearby. I had moved the plants before I did that, but because they were close by, I'm still nervous about it. So I probably won't feed those, but we're going to go through a list because I believe pansies is on the list that your pet finches can eat. And this is the thing we've got to be careful of wherever we buy them from. You know, were they sprayed with pesticides? We've got to clean them. And or if you go to the store like me and you buy a beautiful plant, a rosemary like this, you want to keep it away from pesticides and whatnot. Who knew I would have such a hornet issue here? So you don't know, and so you have to kind of strategize and just do the best that you can to keep them pesticide free. And they say to wash them, so kind of, you know, like if you don't have a spray a hose in your sink, just kind of, you know, sprinkle them, put the under the water and just kind of wash them. Because when they come from the store like this, they might have, you know, something like that on them or near them. And so I'm being very conscious of it. Now, this is my plan, that I will not have to take out a spray can again. The hornet's nest is gone, and they say once they're gone, once that nest has been sprayed, they are not going to go back to that nest this season. Who knows about next season, but they're not going back there, so I'm good like that. The other thing is, unless it's an emergency, really like it was this morning with it coming in, and it was buzzing, and I've never heard any of the hornets, and there's been a few of them now who have come in here, and I hadn't heard them buzz, like buzz. Guess what? Mashuki, my male bird, started kind of like bark yapping and looking over there. And I went over because I thought I heard a buzz, but I totally ignored it. Totally. Because I thought, you know, sometimes you think maybe it's a TV, or maybe it's something from outside, or maybe it was, because it wasn't anything really significant. But when he started yapping, I went over there and very cautiously, I'm like, I couldn't believe it, because I don't know if that thing was in here all night in my place, because that was early this morning. And it scared me. It was looking at me. Look, these, like I told you, this is not sensationalism. A hornet looks at you, and like a computer, it lays out your face. It memorizes you for 30 days. It's like, are you kidding me? This thing was looking at me. So it was an emergency. I didn't know if it had a lot of energy, and it appeared to me that it didn't. It had some, like enough, it was flying up and down in that window. So I just very gently moved a few plants. And then I got the Raid that works miraculously. One spray, boom, that's it. It didn't die immediately, but it fell. it made it very difficult for it to do anything. And I'm like, oh, thank God. And that's when I didn't spray anymore because of all my plants. And then I got my racket over here, and I just kind of clicked it, and it just clicked, and it died from that. But that was extremely nerve-wracking that there's actually another one in here. So that was including the queen mother who came in here after the nest was sprayed, and before the nest was sprayed. That's a total of 6 that have been in here, and we're only into June. The nest is gone. I don't believe there's any more stragglers, but that is why I'm getting all of the herbals that repel, that like they don't like the smell. Because guys, when you spray the insect spray, it only lasts for so long. Like the soap detergent recipe that's out there, that lasts literally for hours, and then boom, it's gone. Um, insect repellent, when you spray, like I've been spraying around the door since early spring, it lasts for maybe up to 2 weeks, but if it rains, it dilutes it. So that's not very good. These are constant, constant. They smell so beautiful. These are constant. They're a constant bee and hornet repellent. So that's why I'm putting them outside the door. I'm putting them right inside the door. So I'm hoping that all of this works, and it will be, I believe, keep me safer while I am here through the summer. Since they got rid of the nest, though, there's been none of them flying around. I'm thinking the 2 that got in, somehow, I hate to even think about this, somehow the nest on the outside, in the little telephone box outside the door, may somehow be coming into the wall. Can you imagine? If they're in there, if they were in there. And so it's been well over a week. Okay, now the queen mother was this past weekend, and now we're 5 more, so it's about 2 weeks. So if there were any that were active in the nest, they'd be coming out back and forth. Like you'd see them, like I would see them like I saw them before when I raised concern that there was a nest. So I don't see that. And I think this is the perfect remedy, perfect strategy, is natural repellents. Because, where do you think they get repellents from, right? They get it from nature. So anyway, with that, guys, just if any of you are going through that, please let me know. If you're in an apartment or house, if you're kind of experienced something like that, or are going through something like that, please let me know. But I hope that this video helps you. Please jump on board and join us. There's only a couple of hundred of us, but it's totally free. We're not out to make tons of money. If anything, I don't do monetization. My other channel is a couple thousand, and I just don't do it because of the stress levels associated with all of that. I just like to enjoy getting on here and communicating. So with that, I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I hope that you're safe. And if you are allergic, please get your EpiPens. I got mine. They were very expensive. Get your EpiPens, though, and make sure that you keep them close by, and be safe. So I'll see you in the next one.